Last week, Malaysia said the search by Texas-based company Ocean Infinity would end on Tuesday after 2 extensions of the original 90-day time limit. A total of 239 people were on board the flight when it disappeared on the morning of March the 8th, 2014. Family members of those on board want the Malaysian government to continue searching for the missing aircraft, but a growing chorus of aviation specialists believe the plane's location remains a mystery because it was hijacked by the pilot and purposely crashed with the goal of it never being found. Greg Navarro has more.
For more than 4 years, Jacinta Gomes has lived with the pain of losing her husband Patrick and the unanswered questions surrounding his death.
In my faith I can have closure, but not when I don't know what happened.
In March of 2014, Gomes was one of 239 people on Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 bound for Beijing, which disappeared shortly after taking off from Kuala Lumpur. The Australian government led an extensive and expensive search across a 120,000 square kilometre section of the southern Indian Ocean. Despite the discovery of pieces of the aircraft, the search came up empty. A second search was launched earlier this year by a private company on a no-find, no-fee basis. That too has failed to find the plane. The initial search for MH370 was based on the assumption by the Australian Transport Safety Bureau that in its final moments the plane was being flown by the autopilot, ran out of fuel and crashed into the ocean.
This really is just not satisfactory.
For more than 4 years, pilot Byron Bailey has insisted that efforts to find MH370 have been focused on the wrong areas. That's because Bailey and an increasing number of pilots believe the prevailing theory about what happened to the Boeing 777 has been incorrect from the start.
The mere fact that when they discovered that the aircraft had flown to the southern Indian Ocean had to be a pilot hijack, because only a pilot can reprogram the sophisticated flight management system computers.
Bailey and others also point to the discovery by the FBI that the pilot, Captain Zahari Ahmed Shah, had flown a disturbingly similar route on a home flight simulator to the one actually taken only weeks before the ill-fated journey.
You can easily say that, well, maybe he was just practicing his flying skills or something at home, or, you know, keeping up to date. But it's a little bit too, the coincidence is a little bit too strong.
He wanted to hide the aircraft in as remote a position as possible. He didn't want bits of debris floating around. He didn't want it ever to be found.
We have quite a bit of data to tell.
Earlier this month, the head of the ATSB appeared before Australian lawmakers where he reluctantly acknowledged the pilot hijacking theory.
So there's one possible. I'm not saying that happened, and I hate to speculate, but it's at least one plausible scenario.
Jacinta Gomes and many other family members want the Malaysian government to continue to search for MH370.
Because this is not only about finding the plane, this is securing the fate of others who travel, you know.
Malaysia's government says it plans to release a full report on the investigation into MH370's disappearance, but hasn't given a date on when that will happen. Greg Navarro, CGTN, Sydney.